Yo, what's good? Welcome back. We're here, the Parental Advisory. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to have to ask, as always, that you hit like, what, Terrence? Smash that button on YouTube, Parental Advisory Podcast. We also ask that you follow us on Instagram, Parental Advisory Podcast. We just want you to share this invaluable content with the people who can really benefit from it. This episode of the Parental Advisory is sponsored by William Spice. William Spice is actually a Black-owned husband and wife spice brand.
Dope.
So there are no preservatives, no anti-caking agents, no MSG. And essentially what they are, they're committed to sharing their love for flavorful, savory foods while enjoying and providing resources for a healthy lifestyle. So if you actually go to their website, which is williamspice.com, and that's WILLYUM spice.com, and put in promo code parental, you can get a discount. So,
check us out.
Yeah,
check
look
us
at that. Look at that.
out. We big time guys.
So, as always, support Black businesses. Support Black business. How's everybody doing today? Everybody's good?
Yes, we're awesome. I'm awesome.
Feeling great.
Feeling good? Feeling great? I see you rocking Atlanta United
I
over
always got
there.
to represent the city and Black colleges all the time.
I like
so
it.
got to represent it.
I like it.
Amen. Well, I'm representing my homegirls brand.
Okay.
Essential Apparel, Essential Hustler Apparel.
Okay.
And she makes these custom made, and mine says Entrepreneur Hustler Mom, and she made me several.
That's super dope. Can we get one that says Entrepreneur Hustler Dad? I'm not really an entrepreneur.
I got you. I got you.
What you do?
I got you.
Entrepreneur.
See.
Oh, that's dope. But no, that's good. Everybody's good. So, essentially what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about a topic that I really can't speak on. I'm not too versed on it, but it is parenting multiple children, which I know it just has to be a challenge. And between the financial concerns, the time, and the energy that it takes. I mean, I just have one question for those on the panel that have multiple kids, and it's, are you guys superheroes? Because you have to be. I know my one runs me ragged, so let alone the multiple. So I guess I'll just throw it over to Tiff. I mean, like seriously, like, are you a superhero? Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you manage?
What's funny is that when I say this, people are like, are you insane? So I had twins first, and God knew what he was doing. Because if I had two of Mozzie, I probably would have tied my own tubes. So with that being said, he gave me two amazing daughters, and it forces you to be on a regimen. It forces you to be selfless. With one, I've experienced with one, my daughters were a lot older when I had my son Mozzie. He runs me ragged. So with the twins, it's a lot of codependency on each other. And again, there is no downtime for me. I literally had to breastfeed two babies at the same time.
Like, did you have them like?
I had them like footballs, yes, just like that. Yes, I did. And if one was sore and the other one wasn't, it was like any, mini, miny, mo, you get latched on, you get a bottle. So I was pumping one and I was feeding the bottle with another one. One laid on my knee, like I would lay like Indian style, and she would lay on my knee and I would feed her with a bottle, and the other one was just on my boob. Wow. So it teaches you let me not say teaches you, it forces you to be on a regimen. It forces you just to navigate your day a lot differently. So when I had my third daughter, it was like, come on, we're good. Like, I kind of got this by now, But I also come from a big family, as you guys have heard. I've said it multiple times. I'm the oldest of 9 children. So having multiple children in the home wasn't a big deal for me, So my set of twins are the first set of twins in the family. So it was like a Hollywood moment for my family. But it wasn't jaw-dropping or really, really, really difficult with the twins. If I were to get pregnant again, I would want multiples. And the only reason why I say that is because you're pregnant one time, but you got two. So it's like, I don't got to go through that 9 months, again.
One-stop shop.
Yeah, one-stop shop. Let's get it all done at one point. And again, their codependency helps you a lot. My daughters are very, very, very close. I got 2 of everything, 2 cribs, 2 bouncies, 2 this, 2 that. But they really learned from each other. It was actually spectacular the way they did it. The walker situation, learning how to walk, they were so itty bitty, even on the swing, they were so itty bitty, they would literally be one in front of the other. They didn't want to be apart. They slept with their arms locked.
Oh, wow.
So although we had 2 cribs, we only used one because they were literally inseparable. If I put them separate, they would try to figure out how to get together. Like, the viral videos where one baby's coming out the crib, and yeah, that was my situation. So at some point I just gave up and laid them down together, and they would sleep through the night. And I didn't have to put the girls to sleep. They had each other in the room, as opposed to one child being in there afraid of the dark, afraid of the monster, afraid of certain things. So their codependency on each other helped me a lot further down the line, because that them depending on me for so long, that only lasts a little bit. After a while, they got each other, and that helped me out a whole lot. So I'm no superhero, but
I think you are.
I figure shit out.
Supermom.
That kind of thing.
How about you, Kiki?
So I have 2. They happen to be 10 years apart, so that makes things a lot easier.
Yeah.
Although my 4-year-old is equivalent to a 14-year-old. She acts just like her. She is. If y'all ever get a chance to meet her, she's a savage. She's mean. She's just she's mean. She's mean.
Who should get that from? Because you're not mean. You're not mean, Marquita. You're a friendly person.
Her sister's mean.
I was gonna say they get a lot from their older siblings.
Yeah. It's the 14-year-old. She has that teenage attitude. She's like, nope, I'm not doing that. Nope. Like, she's been getting in trouble lately. Like, go do this. No, I think you should do that. Like, no, that's not how this is gonna work. But like I told you guys in an earlier episode, that I have a village of people that help with everything. Like my parents, siblings, everybody pitches in to help. The biggest thing for me is that I drive all day long.
Girl.
That's that. Like, I go to work during the day. I stop in the middle of my work day. I gotta go pick kids up from school, take the oldest one to work, take the youngest one. Either she's coming with me back to work, or she's going over to someone else's house. And it's a
lot.
It's a lot just to try to keep up with everybody's schedule, because everybody has something different. But everybody pitches in. Between my parents, my brothers, everybody helps out with everything, and so that's how I get it done.
Yeah, and I think that's the Shiro aspect that we're Shiro to.
There we go.
Because it's amazing that you can actually go to work, right? Take kids to practice recitals, different things in the afternoon that you have to do, prepare meals for them, prepare them in terms of bath or showering for the evening, getting them in the bed, then taking care of yourself at the same point in time, and getting up and doing it again, day after day after day. And that's just immensely difficult to me, that I would think, multiple kids, and especially if you are a single mom, right? Trying to do it all from balancing the work schedule and a social and personal life too at the same time. Like, it's daunting to me just to see that, because I see the struggles that we have now in terms of like time management. And that's something that we always want to work on and make sure you're organized in terms of your time. But having to do that with multiple kids and not the same support as someone else is extremely just a challenge, it seems like. And people have been doing it well for so long. So I commend these Shiros from doing it, seriously.
And
Shiro with the S on the chest.
Let's be honest. I was married with multiple children, and he was just another child. Yeah, that was just, another child. He was just extra large and can drive.
I'm sure my ex feels the same.
That kind of thing.
I'm glad I only have one kid in the house now.
It's very interesting to hear Kiki say that it's a lot easier to have children so far apart in age, where I feel the complete opposite. I know that my son is a brainiac and an intellect, because there aren't any small children in my home like him. My daughters are teenagers, so we speak to him in English. There's no baby talk. Right. So he's a sponge right now, and I love that aspect of him. But I couldn't imagine having 3 of Mozzie the way I have 3 daughters. I don't. I would be in one of those white jackets where you hug yourself. Oh no! So I couldn't, because I'm wrapped around all of his fingers, not just one. He's a mama's boy, but Yeah, to hear you say that is interesting because I feel the complete opposite way. I know when I got pregnant with Monty, I was like, God damn it, Tiffany, it was 10 years. Like, and we've never had, we didn't have a mistake. We didn't have a oops. We didn't have a, oh my God, we might be. It was just like, I never got pregnant. And then one day it just kind of happened. And it was like, damn, Lord, I mean, okay, if that's what you want me to do right now. At some point, I remember at some point when the girls were a little older, it was like, man, I guess I'm just gonna have 3 girls, and I was completely content with that idea. And then, Mozzie kind of took us all by surprise, including the girls. But I have to disagree. I think it's a lot easier when they're a little more closer together in age, because again, that codependency. Where I can see the girls now kind of, now they have their own cell phone, they have their own phone, their laptop, that kind of thing, where they're social in the house and they don't want Mozzie around, so he's with me a lot. But the 3 of them, I have to often be like, you guys get your own room, scatter, like, why are we in one room? There's a lot of noise in this one room. What's happening? So, but again, their codependency helps me out with timing, with having my own thing to do. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's very interesting that you are, it makes it easier for you to have a 14 and a 4-year-old, where I feel the complete opposite way. Like, I'm not saying I want one anytime soon, but for Mozzie to have a playmate would make my life a little bit easier. Because if I hear, Mommy, I'm doing a cartwheel one more time. It's like, I got it, Mozzie. I see you flipping on the couch. Ooh, But if he had a little playmate, other than now, Dingo helps a little bit. I will say that. Our dog helps a little bit, but even Dingo's sick of his shit. Dingo's like, I just want to lay down.
I'm chilling, Mozzie, chill, let me be.
Yeah.
No, and I get it. The playmate does make it a little bit easier. I know for us, like me and my oldest, we hate playing dolls, and that's what the 4-year-old wants to do most of the time. But we have, but she plays Roblox, and so my oldest daughter will play Roblox with her. I don't know how to play it. But she has cousins that will play with her, will play the different games with her. We find other friends for her to play with. So we make it work. But I get that, the not wanting to, because sometimes I'm tired of playing.
Yes, if I get another Nerf gun shot at me, I'm going to fight.
There's always so many times that I can play,
I'm over
Where do y'all keep everything? That's another thing, too. Because I know with me, with one, like Zoe's stuff is all over my house. Like you walk into my house and you see a little mini kitchen. It looks like a New York apartment. She has a kitchen. She has a washer and a dryer. She has a sink. You go in her room. She has a dollhouse. She has a mini dollhouse. So when you have multiple, like where is, and I mean, I keep my stuff organized because I'm kind of OCD. Same. So I make her clean it up. But I'm wondering, when you have multiples, like where do you put all of that stuff?
Mozzie has a corner.
Oh,
it's not a corner. Let me not say it is actually. It's called Mozzie's corner.
Mozzie corner.
Yeah, Mozzie, go put yourself Mozzie's corner.
Sounds like a nice
all
bodega.
His toy chest, I've customized it. It says Mozzie's World.
Nice.
He has multiple let me take that back. Not places. There's Mozzie's corner, meaning like in our hallway, he has an entire section where your toys. Now you can play with your toys in other places in the house, but once you finish, you put that shit back in Mozzie's corner. Please and thank you. Yes. Even the dog has a Dingo corner where we put all his toys. If I step on a Lego, I'm gonna fight you. If I get a Nerf gun somewhere I ain't supposed to be at, that kind of thing. And I don't say no to him. I remember going to one store and he was like, Mom, I don't feel well when we left. And I was like, why? He's like, you didn't buy me anything from that store.
Every time.
It's like, are you kidding me? So that goes to show you how many toys he has. We have enough Nerf guns. Now, mind you, my home, we have a home of 6 of us in the house. We have enough Nerf guns to reload at least 4 times. In that home.
I like Nerf guns.
Like it's unbelievable. So I like my house clean.
Yeah.
And that teaches him he's really independent. That teaches him responsibility because the girls everyone has their own room. So cleaning up your own space, he gets it. His toy space can be kind of scattered, but he has, again, multiple toy chests and things he can hang up. But he enjoys doing that, that kind of thing. So there's no lack of toys.
Yeah, well,
in the house.
He enjoys doing it.
But and again, the dog kind of helps with that too because he will chew your shit up. So go ahead and leave it around if you want to, and Dingo's gonna get to it. I can't tell you how many balls we've been through yet now, but now he's like, no, I don't want Dingo to get to. Yeah, pick it up.
Pick it up.
Pick it up.
Yeah.
Now, all of our stuff is in the living room. Everything, all dollhouse, kitchen set, everything is in our living room. Was it somewhere during the middle of the pandemic, well, maybe a year or so ago, there was a huge bounce house in our living room.
Not a bounce house, an inflatable play place.
Oh, it was huge. It was a huge bounce house that she had got. My dad bought it for her. He buys her all sorts of weird things that we have been endure. But it was huge bounce house that was in the middle of the living room floor. And
that's fun.
That's her.
That would be fun. I would love to have come over while you had a bounce house.
Right?
I would have been.
I can't say I've ever had a bounce house in my home.
No.
Right? Mm-hmm. Where you? You must be in Lathrop Village or something now. You got a bounce house in the living room. Southfield houses, they like. I don't know. So where do y'all find like time to do the things you guys like to do? We kind of hit on it earlier, but having multiple kids, because even with me, with one, some days the gym doesn't happen, or some days the gym has to happen early, or if I have a date, it has to happen when I don't have my kid, and because I don't like to do the whole dropping off at grandma's, at Gigi's. So I wonder, how do you guys find time to exercise, find time to do the social things you need to do, to have your own peace? How do you guys balance that time and still be active and involved with your kids?
Like I said, having multiples the very first pregnancy force you to be on a regimen. There is no put the baby in the bouncy and do, on your laptop, because now there's another one that needs you, So it forced you to be on a regimen where you are more conscious and aware of what you need to get done for the day and how to navigate taking care of them and having time for that. With that being said, now that time has passed and they're a lot older and they're into their own thing, and they'll tell you, mommy time is 9:30. So, you in your room now, lights out and TV off and phone max 10:30, but in your room 9:30. That's everybody in the house. Bingo included. Get on one of these beds and get going. Yeah. He got 2 beds in the house. It's like that's mommy's time. And may that be meeting friends for Taco Tuesday. May that be I have to work on my laptop. May that be whatever it is. That's that. With that being said, on the weekends is a little more lenient because, they don't have school the next day. And all my children go to school, including my son. So on the weeks that because we share custody, on the weeks that I do have Mozzie, I get a lot of my business, things that I need quiet time, that I can't be distracted, between 9 and 2 p.m. Okay. After that, I'm completely devoted to them. And then if I need to do anything extra, and I try to, me personally, I like getting work done during the day and I like to chill at night. So I personally like to get whatever invoices, things I have to get done during the day. And then once they all come home from school and dinner, that 9:30 mark, I don't really want to be working. I want to be relaxing. So that still might be mommy time. That may not be, outside or doing or working. That's just mommy time where it's not loud in the house. And Mozzie, it's a little more lenient on Mozzie's end because Mozzie might be laying next to me. But we already discussed that.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with Mozzie laying next to you. I remember those days. I did. I used to be a mom.
It's sick. I know.
Funny your mama like that, man.
I know, man. I know it's so.
It's
sick.
nothing like a mama's love,
right?
So, and the girls be like, "Mom, why is he?" And I know they feel away because when I say they never, and they would lay on my bed, but it would be like a on-call movie night. Everyone on mom's bed. Mozzie lays with me every day. Now, mind you, he may leave my bed and go to his own room at some point, almost every night. But he makes it a point to lay with me for a little while. I know, and they just be walking in like, Mozzie, you don't want to sleep on your own bed? I know they be feeling away, but they don't say it. Yeah. But it's okay.
So would you say it's easier the second time around to have kids or the first go round? What's easier?
I think in my situation it was a little different because I was still in college when I had the girls. I was in a town that as long as I had a job, a husband, and a house, I was doing perfect. And so by those standards, I was great, With that being said, now that I have my son, he'll be 4 in August. My daughters are teenagers. So essentially he has 4 moms, meaning they treat him, like their own. I don't have to force my girls to help out with Mozzie. I really do not. It's a natural thing. I don't know what it is, honestly. I can't say I was crazy about all my siblings growing up, but I do remember my mother it's kind of like a situation where I had 3 girls and then 1 boy. So she had 3 girls and 1 boy. And my brother, he was on me like cake, like icing on the cake. He was with me everywhere. I took him to the movies. He was like, I was like his second mom. And my daughters treat my son just like that. So having one hypothetically, if I only had Mozzie and didn't have the girls, I would find more difficulties, I think, in the way I navigate my life now as an entrepreneur and working in the nightlife. Right. Because I have my teenage daughters, they help me immensely. So I don't find it being difficult being a mom of 4. I feel very blessed being a mom of 4. My daughters and I, we raised each other, and I've learned so much from them. I would not be the mother that I am to Mozzie right now without my daughters, and I firmly believe that. So where people are like, man, that's 4 kids, I don't find that to be a burden, a strain, or nothing. I truly feel that was what I was meant to do. May it be a single mom or not. So I can't really answer that question. It's not hard or easy. We have our challenges because of my custody thing, but other than that, I don't find what I'm doing right now in my space as being a divorced mom of 4 hard. I just do not. That's not a word I would use.
And that's something to be commended, because it's all about perspective, right? And from the outside looking in, you would think from a time management standpoint that would be a complete a battle every day in terms of frustration of having 4, not necessarily mouths to feed, but kids to guide, right? Every day, and not actually having the ability to have a presence in a nightlife or a presence in a social standpoint yourself too. So that's amazing to see. So because from a standpoint of you saying how involved they're in activities and different things of that nature as well, I just think about having to drive people.
Yeah, it's constant.
It's constant. Practice.
It's constant. So, yeah. It is constant. But again, my daughters, they help me quite a bit. So there might be let's say, for instance, Saturday, and this happens Saturday morning, I may oversleep, when I wake up, Mozzie's fed. Yeah. The dog is fed.
That's cool.
The girl, the girls make sure the back doors is open and the dishes are done. That kind of thing, where I don't have, Mozzie waking me up. And if it was just him and I,
my world.
Exactly.
Getting slapped in the face at 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever.
Granted, I am an Uber and an ATM.
True.
Right. That's
I also get
money.
That's funny. My siblings say that. I also get a little bit of leniency with help around the home. So, yes, the financial is all on mom, but it's like, that's light work. I can, mom can make money. I'm a hustler. I can do that. And that's another thing that my daughters I'm really big on too, where I'm the blueprint. So
there's a lot of Jay-Z
references.
Down in the sky right now.
Okay, all right. You dropping bars,
but no,
you got another career you ain't tell us about.
But I'm the blueprint. So how they see me move is how they're going to move. And I learned very, very early on. They do not listen to a word that I say, but they will do as I do.
Absolutely.
So I navigate my life in a way where it's very realistic for them, where I'm not hiding too much. But I also don't give them all my worries. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? To them, mommy's a millionaire. Like, there's nothing that they won't ask me for. I have to be like, girlies, I mean, how much money do you think mom got? You know what I'm saying? But that shows me that there's we're not straining for nothing, because I don't want to put that burden on. I made these decisions for us, for them, essentially. I made these decisions to come to Atlanta, to have them, to, their fathers, that kind of thing. So that burden should not be on them, and I don't ever want them to feel that way ever in life. And then to see mom as the married mom, they've seen corporate mom, and now they're seeing entrepreneur mom. Those are 3 different women. So they've been there with me through every single development in my life, like all of it. So I see I see the hustler in them. I see the ambition in them, and I didn't grow up like that. So seeing that so early at 14 and 15 years old, it makes me so excited to see what they're going to do in years to come, where things that they're already talking about, I didn't know were talking about until I was 25.
Wow.
So it's like, it makes me so excited to know that they got this already in them,
right?
And they're open about it, and they're, I want to try this. My youngest daughter, she's going to put me through every college degree, because she wants to be an astronaut this week and a teacher next week.
I like it.
She has so many ambitions. Like, it's like the sky's the limit. I didn't have that mindset. So, and they didn't get that from anyone but, because they're not around anyone but me. Right. So from them just knowing, like, oh, mom is, I remember mom working working corporate, and I remember mom married and being a house mom, and that's now mom owns her own business, and they run this business. This is a family business. I'm really big on that. So it really, really excites me a lot. So to know that I'm the blueprint, it makes it a lot easier to navigate, because it's like there's no one that type of pressure. I'm,
Are you the blueprint 1 or blueprint 2?
So, pressure buffs pipes, right? So there is no other option. It's just watching me and hopefully learning the good thing of it. I guess. So it doesn't, pressure for me, I work better under pressure. So it makes me more comfortable knowing that as long as I'm doing right and I'm doing the very best that I can do, then they're going to follow in that, I guess, in a little bit.
Yeah. I love how you said, basically they've seen the life and times of you, volume 1, 2, and 3. Right? And so
all the Jigga references.
I love it.
Oh my God, I
need
can't.
to get Jay-Z as an
exactly.
Can we get him in here? Can we get Sean?
Right.
I mean, you've already had an interview with Oprah, so sky's the limit for Parental Advisory.
We have to show that one day, man. Anyway, what about you, Kiki? Would you say it's easier or
I think it's different. I think it's just different for me, especially with them being 10 years apart. I don't know, Tiffany, I was listening to you about how they've seen you through all the different stages of you. And the only person that's seen all my different stages is my oldest.
Your oldest, yeah.
So my oldest is the one that got, by me being younger when I had her, she's the one that's always been more independent.
Yeah.
If you wake up early on a Saturday morning and you expect me to make you cereal or whatever, that's not happening. I'm asleep. So she had to learn, and I taught her, okay, this is how you get your stuff. This is how you get your things together. And that was one thing I was always judged on, because I made sure she knew how to do a lot of things on her own.
Sure.
While my 4-year-old now, she gets catered to.
Yeah.
Completely catered to. And maybe that's why she's so mean. Everybody pretty much does exactly what she wants.
Yeah.
She
wakes up Saturday morning, Sunday morning. I want pancakes and bacon. She doesn't like eggs. She gets pancakes and bacon.
She gets
from everybody. From everybody, from grandparents, from sister, from everybody, pretty much gets her exactly what she wants. So it's a little bit different, because she sees me at this stage where I'm able to do most of what she wants. She sees me as someone who's home all the time.
Mm-hmm.
She thinks, after I take her to school, that I'm go home, because sometimes I pretty much do. But when she comes home from school, I am going to work. I primarily work in the evening. But my oldest one gets a different, she knows that I'm going to work and I'm doing this. My youngest one thinks she's just there, and especially she gets to come to my office with me some days. My youngest one does. And my oldest one didn't get to do that because I worked at different places.
Mm-hmm.
So because I have so much more freedom now, the youngest one sees that. So I don't know I'm curious of what she's going to think of that, later in life, but she's going to say, Mom got to do kind of what she wants. So maybe then she'll try to emulate that type of thing and try to create a life for herself to where she can have more freedom to do the things that she actually cares about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't even know. As you hear, I'm pretty quiet over here.
Listen, I'm like Takeoff on Bad and Bougie. I'm just not present.
Yeah,
I don't know this topic.
I get nervous just thinking another one. I'm like, I don't know what I would do. There was a point in life where I was like, yeah, another one. But now I'm kind of.
But your situation is a bit different because you're not divorced. So essentially, if you had another one, it would be with another parenting skill.
Yes.
So navigating co-parenting on this end and then co-parenting with someone that I live with or essentially I'm with that's a whole nother chapter of a book, So unless you and Zoe's mama want to go ahead and link back up
cut it out.
One good time. For the good time. For the good time.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. That is not on the agenda.
But with you, I think again it would be completely different as well. Because you guys are still together. Yeah. He's still fairly brand new. So my recommendation is you have another one within 3 years so that that codependency can happen for the two of them, and then it would be a lot easier for you guys to have more time together.
Oh, okay, it was kind of breaking up. I didn't hear anything you said.
But your wife listening. So what I'm saying is, go ahead and slip one in there in the next 2 years.
Pull a fast one.
And then I promise you will be thanking me in 10, because if you wait 10, then you're gonna have Miss Attitude, and you're gonna have Miss Dependent. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Dependent. So. Yeah.
Well, I just want to give kudos to both of you and all those parents out there that have multiples. Myself, I may be at a point where I'm one and done. So for all of y'all out there with multiple, let me give you all
Captain one and done over here.
Round of applause. Give you your flowers while you're here and while you can smell them. But no, that's good. That's dope. That's good stuff. So like, I just want to say kudos to all the parents out there of multiple. And as always, don't forget, things get tough.
You got it.
You got it. You got it. So don't worry. Don't fret. You got this. And if you don't have it, your village got your back. So I just wanted to, thank everybody for tuning in. Of course, this episode was once again sponsored by William Spice. As you see them right here displayed in front of me. I mean, I use them and they're bombs. So definitely check them out.
I love the wordplay in the name. That is so
well, that's because the last name, their last name is Williams.
Right.
So that's why they did Will
I love that. That's
so it was really creative. It was really creative. They're Marquita knows them. We all go back. They from the D. Well, the wife is from the D. Okay. We all grew up together. So shout out to Brandy. So definitely support them and use that code parental for the promo code. Also be sure to subscribe, hit like, share, and smash that subscribe button. Parental Advisory Podcast on YouTube, and follow us on Instagram at the Parental Advisory Podcast. So as always, thanks for tuning in. Check in with us next week, where we're going to actually be discussing good cop versus bad cop as it pertains to parenting.
I can talk about that one.
Yeah. So, thanks for tuning in. I hope y'all have a good week, and we'll check y'all later.